Greetings, Traps here. Welcome to New York. We're in the Lake George region and we're staying at the Moose Hillock RV Park, a beautiful park, and as you can see, huge sites. Every site is massive, just like this. It's a great place to stay. Highly recommend this park. It's a little bit pricey, but if you like the amenities, then it's definitely worth it. Why don't we come a little closer? I'm going to show you some changes that we had. Now, you remember my story a few videos ago on the damage that we had to our 2509S. It was a 2018 2509S. Tree fell on it and totaled it. So we filed a claim with Progressive and ultimately ended up getting the same unit. This is a 2509. This is a 2020 2509 Rockwood. And what I thought we'd do here is just kind of go through the differences between the 2018 and the 2020. Quite a few changes have been made over the years. So let's take a look. We'll start with the front. Obviously, the big obvious change is this big window we have in front. This is a windshield. It doesn't open, but it really is a nice feature. It adds a lot more light when the Murphy bed is down. Also, we have a different tongue jack. Works pretty much exactly the same way as the old one did, but it's a slightly newer model. Otherwise, does a pretty nice job, and nothing really new other than that. So let's come around to the side, show you some other features. First off, all the latches are the same, but all the container, the doors, all the access panels have these magnetic catches, and the 2018 model had a little latch here that you had to flip over, so these magnetic ones are a lot nicer. This side, roughly the same size. You can see the storage, the pass-through storage underneath the couch. Because of the footrests in the couch, there's a little bit less storage here, but adequate, I'd say. 2509 doesn't have a ton of storage. It's one of the negative things about this particular model. Great otherwise, but you just have to accept that you're going to lose some outside storage. While we're here, if you come down here a little bit, you'll see kind of a new feature in the 2020 is the freshwater drain. And prior years, it was just a little spigot that you'd turn. Now it's this big, huge flush. You pull that out and the water just drains down really quickly. That is a really nice feature. All right, come around this way. These two doors here, these haven't changed at all. The slide out, pretty much the same exact size, not anything really different. Just some new graphics and details, but other than that, the slider looks exactly the same as it did on the 2018 version. But there's some big changes over here. So one of the things I thought was kind of weird is our previous model, the power and cable jacks were right next to the water, including the shower, which seemed kind of dangerous with your 30 amp service right next to your shower. So they actually moved it over a little bit at the very end. So that's kind of a nice thing. I'm sure they probably heard some complaints, and I think moving it over is a good move. Another point here, the low point drain has moved. It's now on this side. On the 2018, the low point drain was between the two axles on the other side. So I think this is a good place for your winterizing. This is where you need to access the low point. All right. So let's step around the side here. Actually, now we're into the back. A couple things here, really minor issues, minor things. They swapped out this cap, these end caps, on the bumper for the sewer. Prior version had a hole here, so you kind of reach in and pull it out. Now there's just this kind of vented cap, which I think is great. Keeps the rodents out. That's pretty good. So I think that was a wise move. They switched to all LED lighting here in this model, and so your brake and your directionals are all now LED for power saving. I think it's a lot nicer. The rest of the lights pretty much haven't changed. They're oval instead of rectangular, but other than that, they're the same. Okay, so coming around the other side, where the entrance is, there's some big changes here. Biggest change here is the outdoor kitchen. The 2018 version, there was a sink and a 2-burner grill. That's been replaced. They removed the sink and they replaced the grills, or the 2 burners, with a capital grill. Kind of an interesting concept, because the 2509 still comes with an external grill that plugs into the port over here. I didn't bring it because I use my camp chef. But Capital Grill, there's been a lot of complaints on the forums. People don't like this grill as much. They prefer the burners. A lot of people do. So I'm going to try it out and see how good it is. I'll do a separate video on that. But it's a very big grill. It's got a lot of cooking surface. That's kind of nice. We'll see how well it behaves. Now, apparently the reason why they switched out the sink, and this is what a dealer told me, is that it wasn't venting. The plumbing wasn't vented. So they had to get rid of the sink. I really like the sink, which is kind of unfortunate. But what they did replace it with is this sprayer nozzle, and it's got cold and hot water, which is kind of interesting, but it's got a full spray nozzle. It's got the hose is just normally threaded, so you could actually connect this to an external sink if you wanted to, or you can just leave it as a sprayer. So that's kind of nice. Still got the fridge, little mini fridge. It's kind of a neat feature. Okay, moving over here. They've swapped out this surface was a laminate covered fiberboard, and now it's metal, which is kind of nice, and it's got a plastic support down here. So I think this is a lot better. It's going to hold up in the weather much better. There's still room for the grill, which still comes with it, and they've moved it used to be a pull-out LP hose that plugged into the grill. They've gotten rid of that. They went to a separate piece of hose, and it just plugs into a quick connect LP jack right here, very much like the one in the back. So they have two, which is kind of a neat feature considering. I don't bring the grill. I don't use it as much. It's a good grill, but I prefer my camp chef. All right, so this is probably the best feature that they've added, which is this step above steps. It's better than the fold-out steps by a long shot. It's a really stable step system to get into the camper. It doesn't shake the camper when you're stepping in. That's a really nice feature. And it's really easy to put up. It's got these gas struts that you can bring it up with one hand. I can't do it because the door is closed. Just open the door wide and bring it up in, and it is done. All right, stepping around here. The awning is an 18-foot awning. This used to be a 19-foot awning. And the reason why they went to an 18-foot awning is because they changed how the access to the storage areas is set up. There used to be two doors here, kind of an oval, a rectangular door here, and a smaller door here. Well, they switched it to one rectangular door, and as a result, they had to move this over a foot. So we lose a foot of the awning. Not a huge deal, but there it is. There's a little less storage, I think, in here. And then you can see you have accesses to the pass-through all the way back to under the couch. All right, but it's one door now. Last thing I want to mention on the 2020 2509, it comes with, all these units come with the Wi-Fi Ranger, which is kind of a cool feature. It will pull in weak Wi-Fi signals, and it actually also has the capacity to add a cellular card, which lets you get use your cellular plan to get data throughout your camper. It'll distribute it via Wi-Fi. So I tried it out. It works pretty good. You can get very weak signals that you can't get on your phone, but it may be a kind of a luxury feature, but it's kind of cool anyway. All right, so that's it for the outside. There's a bunch of new features on the inside, so let's go in and take a look. Okay, so let's take a look at the inside. So we'll start over here on this side. So previous models had a larger door here that opened this way, and a decent amount of room in there. But you can see they moved the radio DVD player over to here from it was on top of the refrigerator. So we'll talk about why that is in just a minute. They replaced it with this sliding drawer. Not bad. At least they're making good use of space here. So we also have a smaller access door here. This is for getting in and winterizing. This is the hot water tank, and so there's not a lot of space here. They also had to shrink the door, I think, so they can move the stairs or install the step ahead stairs. All right, moving over. Control panel hasn't changed too much. There is the Wi-Fi Ranger switch right here, and the settings for the Wi-Fi Ranger. And right next to it, you can see I had just installed this yesterday. This is the battery monitor. It's a Victron battery monitor. Great. I'll do a review on that. Great little device. And that pretty much is everything that's changed here. One of the things you'll notice, though, there's a lot more room here. So I think I'd say about another foot. I'll have to measure it out. But with the redesign of the front end, it actually allowed for more floor space. So that is a great feature as well. Furrion TV hasn't changed really any. Stepping over here, a few minor changes here. I did mention that not much has changed in the slide, and I was wrong about that. They moved the emergency exit to the slide out, and it gives you a bigger window here. But because of that, they actually had to shrink the size of the overhead cabinets. So they used to come down about another couple inches. So they shrunk that a little bit, little less storage, not as great, but not too bad all in all. So they also shrunk the window over here. This used to be where the emergency exit was. They shifted it over. There's a little more room here, I think, in this closet, maybe an inch or two, and that's about it there. Okay, coming over to the kitchen area. So a couple things. First off, there's now a metal, you can see some dirty dishes in there, metal sink that was changed out from plastic sink in the past. And there's been some concern about it coming down or falling down. I haven't experienced any of that myself, but that's what people say in the forums. This is kind of cool. So there used to be an extension that would kind of snap on here. And then you had to store it elsewhere. This new extension, new countertop extension, it's a little shorter, but it's built in, which is nice. So it's very easy to make use of this. I kind of like the fact that it's a little bit smaller. I think it's more useful. We've already been using it quite a bit. So that's a neat feature. Moving on, the Magic Chef microwave has not changed. The hood has not changed. This is a different stove / cooking top from previous models. It works the same way. I think it's the same brand. It's just a little bit newer. The pilot light now, you don't need a match to light the oven, which is a really nice feature. It uses the spark ignition. Otherwise, it's the same size and capacity. Stepping over here, this is a great thing. The fridge is bigger, the refrigerator. So as I was mentioning, the control panel, or rather the stereo and DVD player used to be right here. Because the fridge is much bigger now, this is, I think they went up to an 8-foot cubic foot from a 6-foot. Because it's much bigger, there wasn't any room to keep the radio / DVD player. So that had to go. So, nice trade-off right there. So we definitely get a lot more food in here. Definitely a great new upgrade. To the bunks, nothing really has changed here. They moved some of the light switches around, but otherwise pretty much the same. Air conditioning unit, still the same. Although now there's an upgrade option for a 15,000 BTU. This is a 13.5, but you can get an upgraded, more powerful air conditioner if you want. We didn't opt to do that. Okay, to the bathroom. Some minor changes in here and one big change. So this shelf is new. Let's turn the light on. It used to be just this little toothbrush rack holder and soap dish. Now they get this shelf. That's nice. They moved the GFI power jack outlet from the front over to here, giving you this little additional storage here. Otherwise, that's all the same. The fan, the fantastic fan, is the same, although now they used to have it hooked to the switch here. Now you can keep the lights off and turn the fan on. Otherwise, that's all the same. And the big change that they made in here is to the shower. This is I put this on myself, so it still comes with a standard shower head, but I put that in. This caddy is brand new. It's a little convenience thing, but it's kind of nice. And they have the water miser feature. Well, this is great if you're boondocking, and you can see that little blue pipe that turns white when the water is hot. So the nice thing is that you can turn it on and it will pump water from your fresh tank back to here and then back into the fresh tank when it's on. So it'll just keep running and running and running. When it gets hot, you'll see this turn clear, and then you can turn your water on, and the water coming out of the shower is hot. So it just saves water rather than letting it run down the drain and waste the water as it gets warm. And that is the bathroom. The last thing I want to show you on the inside is the bed. So we'll move over to the front. Okay, so first off, the couch has these great little footrests that come out. It doesn't recline, but this is kind of nice still. Again, you really feel that extra leg room when the footrest is up. So 2 footrests. There are some tables that slot into this little post right here. That's new. This control panel is new, although is the same, except they moved the switch for the bedroom lights over to here, and they had to do that because it used to be that this storage cabinet, this wardrobe, ended right about here, and then from here down was just a kind of a shelf that you could put things on. So they made this go all the way down, and expanding the size of the wardrobe. The slide-out drawers are the same size, but this is a bit bigger. And that's kind of nice because I hit my head once or twice on this corner here, so I'm kind of glad that they made that full size. So as a result, the switch, which was over here, now is moved to here. All right. So let's take down the bed and I'll show you what's changed there. So this is all the same. Now we got a mattress topper, so sometimes it's tough to get this thing down. There we go. Okay. So as you can see the great window. You can see a great view. There's also a power outlet on the upper left-hand corner. It's kind of hard to see. It's buried behind the mattress. But that's nice if you have a CPAP machine, or you want to put a clock radio on the shelf back there, and that's new as well. So I think it's really nice. You get a little bit more leg room, or a little more head room, and it results in a little more leg room for someone as tall as me. One more thing to note, there's a knob here. So this won't go up unless you flip the knob. So you pull this back like a pinball, and then you put the bed up. And the couch. And I love how easy it is to put this Murphy bed up. If you've never had a 2509 or something similar with a Murphy bed, it's a great feature. It's very easy to get the bed up and out of the way when you don't need it. And that is the end of our tour. These are all the differences between the 2018 version of this model and the 2020 version. So if you have any questions, or if you found I missed something, please make a note below, and I'll respond back to everyone's comments. Right? This is Dropsys again, signing off. Thank you.